want to thank you for coming and joining me today. I first moved and I relocated to another area. I was through your process. The here that you can get out of it as well. Welcome back to Happy Life, Better Life. Today I have a question for you. Why do we go back to old people and old things, old situations that did not serve us well the first time? Why do we do that? Why do we go back to old people, old situations, and old circumstances that didn't serve us well the last time? I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why I believe we do that. Number 1, we go back to what's familiar, to what's comfortable, when we are not at ease. Sometimes we try to do new things and we try to open up our hearts to new people. And when things don't go out, when things don't work out rather, or go as planned, we tend to want to turn around and go back in the opposite direction. And that's one reason. The second one is that sometimes we prefer to deal with the devil we know. Really, legit. Sometimes we prefer to deal with the devil that we know instead of dealing with something that's completely new. We don't know exactly what that's going to bring us, and it can be a little intimidating to just start over. It can be a little intimidating to go into a new place with new surroundings, new people. And so we say, well, I'd rather deal with the devil I know. I know this isn't a perfect situation, or I know this isn't a perfect woman, or I know this isn't a perfect man, but I know their flaws already. I know. I know them. I'm familiar with that. So I'd rather deal with the familiar. But when we do that, we're settling. We're still settling. We're still giving into complacency, So the first one is because we want to go to what's familiar, what feels comfortable. The second reason is that we want to deal with the devil that we know. And the third reason is that when we look at all the underlying things, the bottom line is fear. That's why we return to old stuff, to old things, old situations, old people, because we are afraid. We're afraid. And this is the thing about fear, and I say this all the time, but I feel like you can't say it enough, and it has to be said again and again, because fear paralyzes us. It really does. And I'm going to tell you, I went through a situation, like if you had talked to me 2 weeks ago, I had tried something new, and it didn't work out, and I was feeling some kind of way about it. I was really feeling like, you know what? That's enough of that. I don't need to do that again. I don't want to put myself out there like that. We don't want to be hurt again. We don't want to be disappointed. We don't want to be, frustrated like that. So you just don't want to try. And my mindset was that, you know what? I'm going to just maybe adjust my thinking. But then something else came up quite unexpectedly, quite surprisingly, and it turned out to be a really good experience. And like I said, it was something I wasn't anticipating. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared at all. I was like, no, I'm good. I thought I was just kind of coasting. And then something happened, like I said, that I really wasn't expecting. And right before that, though, I tried going back to old things that were familiar to me. Old people that were familiar to me, because I felt like this is safe. This is safe. Never mind the fact that it didn't work out the first time, you know. In my mind, this is safe. And it wasn't just like, I felt like I don't want to invite any new people into my circle. I just want to, you know, I'll just deal with these situations, these people, because I already know this. And it wasn't that those people had did me any harm or anything. It was just that things didn't work out for a reason. And it could be very simple reason, even though we remained friendly, you know. But it's like I kind of allowed myself to start getting drawn into old familiar situations. And then it was like, you know what? Let's be real. You're licking your wounds right now. You might be a little punch drunk, you know. got Maybe you feel like you got a little bit of knocks on the head or whatever the case may be. But guess what? It's not over. You just have to move forward, people. Don't move backwards. Moving backwards just isn't going to serve you. It's not going to take you where you really want to go. And you have to sometimes think of your goals as a mountain. And are my decisions taking me closer to the mountain or taking me further away? And the truth was, my decisions were starting to take me further away from where I really wanted to be and what I really wanted to have. And at the end of the day, if it's not really what you want to be, do, or have, then it's not serving you. If it's not what you want to be, do, or have, it's not serving you, no matter how comforting it may feel. Okay? So those are the reasons why we go back to old stuff. We go back to old stuff because, number one, we want what's familiar. Sometimes we want to deal with the devil that we know, and because we're afraid of moving forward. But don't let yourself get caught up in those traps and snares. And they can be snares, because these can be things. This is the most beautiful way I can describe a trap and a snare. A trap is something that you can get caught in. The snare is the part that entices you to come back to the trap, to get caught in the trap in the first place. And I've always taught myself to look for snares in my own life, because that snare can come in different places, in different times, and in different situations. But you always got to know, what is your weakness? What is that thing that entices you that can just lead you right into a trap? You got to know yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to know what's at the core of who you are, even when it comes to our faults that we don't like to admit even to ourselves. But we all have them. We all have faults. We all have, shortcomings. So in the meantime, while we're navigating through this place, start identifying if you're going back to old things and old situations. I just did like a vision board party with a few of the women in my complex. And, we have to continue. To me, every year is good to set goals for yourself. It's good to have a plan to say that this is what I would like to achieve in this year. I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions per se. Yeah, that's it somewhat. But when you're doing a vision board, it's different, because you've got to put your heart into it. And it could be something that's very simple, but it's measurable. And that's with all goals. They have to be measurable. And so this year, just plan on doing something new, doing something grand, something that's for you. And even look at the simple things, because the more we focus on what's ahead of us, we don't have time to look at what's behind us. We're just moving forward, and we're being in the present. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that helps somebody, because I'm going to tell you, a word spoken in due season, how sweet it is. That little hint, that word came to me at a time when I really needed to examine where I was and what I was doing. So we all need reminders sometime. So thank you again for joining me at Happy Life, Better Life. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. And have a great day. Bye-bye.